Alright, everyone, Jesse Hughes back in. Thanks for coming through. Here to chat about AGL coming up. What's the date for that one?
February 1st.
Awesome.
So it's in 3 weeks.
It's come quick.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It felt like I booked it for like miles ahead, like 6 to 9 months ahead, and then next minute, like once you go through Christmas and whatever, it was around the corner.
Yeah, that period goes quick. Yeah. So, how you feeling with it all?
Good. It's like pretty much everything's ready. Like I've bought everything that I can think of, and everything's arrived, and all the laptops are set up, and Smooth Comp's looking good. So it's just from now until Rego closes, it's just pretty much following the Regos and just seeing who enters. But then obviously that period between close off and the comp, I've got to create all the brackets, and for me that's like a massive learning curve.
Yeah.
Those that don't know much about Smooth Comp, obviously if you've never run a comp before, it's actually a very complex program. It's kind of like Microsoft Excel in a way. When you create a bracket, you got to put a stack of back-end rules to make it so that Regos are smooth.
Yep.
So like if you were going to enter, as soon as you would put your name in, it would grey out all the lower ranks. So white, blue, purple, brown would be greyed out. It'd also grey out the kids division, it'd grey out the females division, and all that is like rules in the background that I'll have to put in place.
Wow.
So obviously as Regos were coming through, a couple of those rules didn't work, and I had to quickly jump on and change them. And
I wouldn't have thought about that.
But once you get it running smooth, you can just copy it to the next event, so it's pretty easy. But when you create the brackets, so once Rego closes, you can't really practice that.
Yeah.
So then you've got 2 days, I guess, to trial and error and move it and see if it works and schedule it so all the mats run similar, and it can be pretty hectic, but
sounds like a lot of work, bro.
I've watched about every YouTube tutorial there is on Smooth Comp, and hopefully it goes well. I think my biggest fear coming into the comp is that I'm pretty confident it's going to look nice. Spent a lot of money on buying all the gear and
Stuff
the mats,
looks good,
and
bro. I saw the podium.
the banners and stuff. I think it's going to look really nice. I think the rule set and that's good. It's just hoping that on the day, like Smooth Comp doesn't crash or an error comes up that I have zero idea how to fix. So hopefully I can solve the little problems as they come. And
There's bound to be stuff that'll pop up, but that's with any business or any promotion that gets running. So when is the final date for sign-ups?
I believe it's the 28th of January.
Okay.
So it's a couple of days before. I gave myself a couple of days to obviously know how to set up the brackets. Yeah.
So that will be the last opportunity for people to sign up to take part. So if you are going to sign up, I would make sure you do it by that date. So obviously the rule set's a little different to, say, Grappling Industries or the IFBJJ tournaments.
Yeah.
If you could kind of just summarise for those watching who maybe don't know what the rule set is or on the fence about competing, what makes AGL different to the regular tournaments kind of knocking
around? Well, obviously there's so many tournaments now in South Australia compared to before, so I knew if I was going to join the scene, I had to create something completely different, because if I just offered another round robin or single elimination, people were a bit like, we've got too many. So I wanted to do something completely new, so I fully changed it up. One thing I noticed with especially kids, but it happens with adults as well, is that there's weight categories every 5 kilos. So then once people enter, and we don't get many entries in Adelaide, people get spread so thin that you've got one guy in your div and there's someone 2 divs up, and then it ends up all getting merged, and you end up, so many of my kids will end up fighting up 15 kilo or fighting up 10 kilo. So I wanted to make the brackets bigger so we have way less merging, and hopefully some people will get 5 to 15 people in their bracket and they can have a good solid bracket. So the weight categories are a lot wider. The kids are also fighting in they're merging the belts, so there's grey, yellow and orange green are in one, and then for rule set we're going sub only for rounds 1 and 2, so over 3 rounds. So round 1 is 4 minutes for the adults, sub only. And the only way that you can score points is via significant submission attempts. So if I get a guillotine locked on and you get out, because I got a significant submission attempt, the referee will give me a score on the scoreboard. And then we go into a second round, sub only again. Only way you can score is with significant subs. But if we get to the end of the 2 rounds, and let's say I've put 2 subs on you and you've put 2 subs on me, I want to have a way that we can decide a winner rather than it being left in the judge's hands. So I'm doing something unique. Round 3 is going to be an overtime, and then I'm going to bring in points. So first to score.
Yeah.
So that gives the wrestlers a good opportunity to send it on a takedown and try score. And then if you're a guard player, you've got a minute to try sweep or pass. So yeah, the overtime is first to score using the standard like IBJJF score system.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, it's very different. You've got the rounds, obviously. What type of break is there between rounds?
1 minute.
1 minute.
Yeah.
Awesome. So you got time to talk to your coach and...
That's what I like as well, is that, like, yes, all comps have a coach in the corner, but they're just screaming for the most part, and most time you're tunnel visioned and you don't hear anything they say anyway.
That's a skill for competing, is being able to hear your coach and not the other shit going on.
Yeah, so I think getting that 1 minute to take a drink, have your breath, and get to speak to the coach, and they might have noticed strategy stuff or something that you're doing wrong, give you a quick word, and then send you back out there and change the strategy. I think it'd be really cool.
I think it's cool for kids, particularly.
Yeah.
Because I know you see lots of kids when they're competing, they start getting stressed out or they get defeated like halfway through and they pretty much think it's done.
Yeah.
Like positionally, you've got an opportunity now to kind of spark them up a little bit and know if they, all right, I can get to the next round and really give it a shake and give it a crack. So.
Yeah, and I think it puts a little bit of onus as well onto coaches, because there is a lot of clubs that will come and maybe they only have 1 or 2 people in and then the coach isn't there.
Yeah.
You can get away with it in a normal tournament, but in this one, you're going to go walk over to your coach's chair and take a drink of water and just wait. So it puts a little bit more onus onto the coach to like impart to their students, which I think would be really cool. We've semi-done this rule set before at like an internal armour sub-only back in the day.
Okay, so you trialled it a little bit.
Yeah, and when we got to overtime, it's so exciting because there's 1 minute, 2 guys tap hands and they send it. And usually the crowd's screaming because scores are tied and you see some big takedowns or a big back take. And I find it's an exciting way to finish off the round rather than just the referee deciding.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. Like, I don't need as experienced referees. I know obviously having a good referee is awesome, but they don't really have to know the point system. They just need to know what a significant submission looks like, which I feel like most people do. And they don't have to make a decision on a winner because most of the time it should be settled with that overtime.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty rare that you'll get to the end of the
third round and it's still nothing. Yeah, so I hope it almost never happens.
I think it'll be pretty small amount. That's plenty of time to get stuff done, and particularly with 1 minute to score.
Yeah,
I think a lot of thing that stops people from pursuing takedowns a lot of the time is they don't feel like they need to.
Yeah.
Well, here you go for that double, you better drive through and blast through and finish that double, because if you get sprawled on, they take you back.
And it encourages wrestling in the overtime, because if you decide to pull guard, you got to think, you come in, you tap hands, by the time you sit to the floor, you got 50 seconds to sweep someone. Yeah. And that's not a lot of time when they're actively trying to pass you.
Particularly if you couldn't do it for 2 rounds before that.
Yeah. Whereas, like, obviously, if it was me, I'd probably choose to wrestle because I feel like it's so much more doable in a minute than just sit and try to sweep someone. So hopefully we get some exciting overtimes. But I don't think many will even go to the third round. I think the matches that might go to the overtime would be the big boys when they lay on each other and not a lot happens, and maybe there won't be any submission attempts in round 1, no submission attempts in round 2, and the score's 0-0, and then they go to overtime, or maybe just some crazy match where I got you in one sub and you got me in one sub and it's a decider. But I think a lot of them will likely won't make it past the first or second round.
The other cool thing with your tournament is you got the super fight stuff going on. So very like ADCCS, which is really cool for people partaking or who aspiring athletes, people white, blue, purple who are trying to want to make a name for themselves on the scene. It's a cool opportunity to get seen by a lot of people and have a high quality match against good opponents. All the people that are in the slots should be in those slots, and
I've had a few people a little bit concerned with that, like by saying, what if I have 8 matches and then I'm going to fight in a super fight?
What if you do?
Yeah, but the way I'm going to try to schedule it is that the absolutes will be at the start of the day-ish. I'll let them run. I'm assuming they'll probably run for an hour and a half, 2 hours, or whatever it takes to get through the absolute. And then the super fights won't be later in the day to, like, say, 2. So hopefully you get an hour or 2 break, and then before you do the super fight.
Yeah.
So hopefully people aren't getting absolutely gassed going into it.
No, but that's all. It's also part of the event. It's how it goes. You know what I mean? Like it's part of the challenge. It's how it's run at ACC as well. You have to do that. You have to back it up. So Yeah, I think that's awesome. So
Yeah.
who are the people in those slots, just for the people at home?
For the females, we only managed to get one super fight across. So we
Yep.
got Nicole doing the white blue female super fight. She's got fighting for the Queen of the Youth belt in 3 weeks after in Melbourne. So she's an awesome contender. For the white blue male, we got Connor Kearney.
Yep.
I think everyone knows him. He's won about
Matches.
everything.
Yep.
And then in the purple, brown, black, we have Luke Marco.
Yep.
Who's probably one of the top guys on the scene at the moment.
Yeah, he's doing really well. He's got M16 Open coming up as well, I reckon.
Yeah.
Can't remember who his opponent is, but he's been killing it.
Yeah, and one other thing we're actually looking at doing is streaming. So I can't stream every mat because we'd need like NBN to the premise, and but I've got a modem that can hopefully handle all the screens and the smooth comps plus a stream. So we're going to stream just the final of every bracket. So there's a way on smooth comp that you might be fighting on mat 1. As smooth comp will calculate once you get to the final, it will push the final to the finals mat.
Yep.
So finals mat
cool.
might be mat 3.
Yep.
And then all matches in the final will be on mat 3, and it'll be streamed to YouTube. And it's really cool. Smooth Comp has a way to embed the scoreboard in a tail of the tape, and it looks really nice for YouTube.
Nice.
So I think my whole goal with AGL, one of the things I wanted to do is give a super fight feel to a local competitor.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind one. I've got ideas in the future of possibly blacking out the windows and getting lights for a general round like tournament. It'd be pretty cool for people to feel that that stage presence.
I think all that stuff's awesome and adds to the value of competing and makes it different as well. So yeah, that's really cool.
But yeah, we got 2 weeks left, obviously for Rego. We've got some clubs are pumping Regos through. Shout out to guys like M16 and Toa. And Armour, BJJ have got heaps in. And then there's a couple of guys that haven't got many in yet, but hopefully we've got 2 weeks. A lot of people
wait, bro.
A lot of people wait until the last minute to jump in. And then, hopefully we can get a big turnout on the day.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, bro. Is there anything else, any other info that you would like to give people you might think would be valuable for them other than we know the date? Where is it?
It's at the Yulee Road Hall.
Up north.
Yeah, I wanted to not have it in a basketball stadium without heating or cooling because it always annoys me in summer. I'm like burning or like in winter I'm freezing. So we've got like a place that's like a proper function room. It has heating, cooling. We're gonna have music going, and it's got all your car parking and food and a kitchen and all the rest of it. We've got a nice venue out north. And
socials so they can find you.
For AGL, we are on Instagram and Facebook.
Yep.
And obviously on the Smooth Comp. We will be looking at doing multiple events this year.
Yep.
Haven't locked any dates in yet. Just want to get my head around the first one.
Yep.
But hopefully, get a few going this year in Adelaide.
That's awesome, bro. Well, all the best for the tournament. We'll share this around. We'll pump it up a little bit for you. If you are considering competing, particularly if you've never competed before, I think this is a cool opportunity to have a better experience when you first start off. I know people who've started at states and nationals and shit like that. You go to Melbourne and I've seen dudes get smoked in a minute. And it's done.
That was my experience.
Brutal, bro.
I think also just want to give a shout out to Katia's Flow. They will be having a clothing stand on the day, selling all their rash guard shorts and clothing. And they've mocked up an AGL shirt as well. That we're going to be selling on the day. So if you're there, check out their gear and jump on their website.
Legend. Thanks,
mate.
All the best.